All right, listen up, Spuds. This is Zap Brannigan, master of time, space, and everything else in between. And, winner of this year's Modesty Award. You're listening to You Suck. What's the difference with Al and Tom? Your one stop for this sort of thing.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to What's the Difference podcast with me, Alex Whiteley.
And me, Tom Bruno.
And thank you for joining us today. An odd way of starting the show. Usually we have a guest with us, but there's going to be no later lounge later because today is Mr. Bruno's anniversary. So congratulations on surviving this long in a marriage. Well done.
Thank you. Fucking 11 years being married, 14 years being together, man. It's a long time.
I mean, it's great when a relationship stands the test of time. They say the 7-year itch, don't they? And, well done. And you've accomplished a lot together, man.
We have, fucking home, 3 kids, dog, whole bunch of shit. I mean, I think it's one of those things that we saw a lot of our friends, fail. We saw a lot of our friends fucking get handouts. And one of the things we always kind of pride ourselves on is not everything, right? Like there's nothing better than the kindness of family and friends and that can help you out and all that stuff. But for the most part, every step that we've made it with one another. We made it, maybe not always getting along, but always being on the same path mind wise. And we did it by ourselves, at least for the big things, the house, the kids, the marriage, that whole thing. And it's just funny to think, because when I was thinking about it this morning, it popped up in my head and I was like, oh, wow, fucking 10 years. And I was like, no, 11 years. Wow. And I was trying to think of, the person I was before I got married and the person before I met Shona. And it's just been so long with her that's I don't even remember that guy anymore. All I remember is the husband, the father, that guy. That guy's who I am now, clearly. And it's the guy that I love the most. So I think the best thing about a strong relationship is they make you the best you can be.
I feel like with me and Kaz, we kind of complete each other in a weird way because I'm the silly, geeky one and she's the sensible one that hasn't seen hardly any films. So I have to coach her through movies to watch and stuff. It's quite cool.
Are you fucking with the new green screen?
Yeah. No. That's my camera. No.
That was your camera? Ooh.
My green screen. As the Sabrina, I haven't changed it since we tried to do a live show, by the way, guys, on Wednesday. It didn't work at all because my internet was shit. I had barely any sleep. We were exhausted, me and Kaz, and Tom was, done his thing as well. So we were all very, very tired. So it kind of was a 40-minute show, and it was just us going, yeah.
I mean, but you gotta think, dude. Normally we have 3 to 4 people in the show. You were in the midst of traveling, and as I said on the show that nobody got to hear, if I would have known you were traveling that day, I would have insisted upon us figuring something else out because you're always giving everything to the show, and any time that you can take a little bit of time to yourself, I prefer that. I really do, and I know the fans prefer that as well because you come back refreshed and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, and I was really, one of those things I was really looking forward to that show. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. I've worked quite a bit over the last few weeks. I think once I get pod aid out the way, I can kind of just really relax, just be me for a bit. I think once that's out the way.
I do feel it looming, and that's not to say it's daunting, and that's not to be it's just too much, but I only get a little bit of it. I only feel a tiny bit of the frustration and the angst that comes along with a big event like this. You got the full brunt because it was your baby. It is your connections. You're the go-to person, so everything kind of falls on your lap, and you try to distribute any little jobs you can without feeling oh, if this goes wrong right now, then that kind of fucks up this for that. So, first of all, well done continuing to manage it. And 2, dude, don't worry. It's going to be over pretty soon. We're going to feel a lot better. And then we're going to get back to the normal jive and jive.
Yeah. And I've had a few days away, and I feel guilty for it. I'm guilty for spending time with my family, and I shouldn't. No. You're right. I shouldn't do. So like, no, it's been nice. And my days away have been great, man. I'm absolutely, totally exhausted right now. I mean, we drove down towards London, and we went to Windsor, to Legoland, Windsor, and it was fantastic, great, loads of just hilarity for that day. I dropped my shoe in the water on one of the rides.
I saw that. Did you get the plague when you retrieved it from that water, or how'd that go?
It was fine. It was so we went on this like a jet ski ride, and you steer to come out, and bombs go off in the water and stuff. It was great, but to get in, you had to like lift up this little bar and then just shimmy in. But ours wouldn't lift up, so I put Timmy in the ride, and I climbed over like you do on a bike. And as I went to bring my other leg over, it caught the heel and just took my shoe off and went in the water. And I was like, "Yo, dude, my shoe's in the water!" And they had to come and bring a big net and bring it, and they give it me back. I was like, "Thank you." I had to put it on squelch all the way around Legoland.
That's hilarious. Now, was it like Croc, or was it like proper shoe?
Oh, it's my Vans. They're Vans, big puffy Vans.
So not only was it like, this is uncomfortable, this is wet, but like literally you're running the risk of like some serious fucking what are they called? Calluses and blisters from wearing
painful. Very painful. Well, because like when my toes have gone wet, when your shoes get wet, they go white and puffy, right? And my toes were rubbing together as I was walking, and my toes like fuck you with every single step I had. And then we went to Warwick Castle. I wish I had pictures for you today, guys, but I've literally just got in from prison. Oh, it's so stunning.
Warwick Castle is like one of the most like known haunted castles in the world, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I mean, the original grounds go back to like sort of 1068. It was put into use by William the Conqueror after 1066 as a castle that would be right in the centre of England, which meant the English could go up to Wales, fuck up Wales, Scotland and Wales, and go back, get back into it. And then anybody fleeing north would just be stopped at Warwick Castle. It's a very, very important castle. Lots and lots of history there. Yeah, it's quite notorious.
I remember there was a show, Scariest Places on Earth, and they would like, it was essentially, did you ever see Fear on MTV? It was like a show where they take like, the hot teenagers or whatever, they'd send them to really spooky places with like steady cams that face towards them. They'd be asked to do tasks like go to the cabin and retrieve the diary. And, calamity would ensue and scaring and bumps in the night and shit. There was that. But there was also Scariest Places on Earth where they concentrate on some of the scariest places. And it seemed like every single time that they'd have like a group challenge of staying 24 hours somewhere or staying the night, it was always Warwick Castle. If I can find the video, I'll send it to you really quick.
You nearly got there. The first time you said Warwick, and then the second time you said Warwick. So, I mean, you kind of half-passed.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm so sorry that I'm not British. I don't fucking
Kaz does it all the time, even now. She still does it. Warwick, she struggles with it so much, bless her.
The lady is from fucking, from Colombia. Give her a fucking break.
I know. We've got these crazy places in the UK. Norwich. Norwich is Norwich. So, like, there's these crazy places that we have to pronounce. And our guest has just arrived as we were chatting away. And I want to say again, thank you to Kaz, my wife, who's putting these guests together for us whilst I'm just being too busy, obviously. To the show, I hope he doesn't mind us bringing him into the show as we're recording, is our guest, Mr. Sean Kanan. Thank you. Is it Kanan? Is that right? Have I pronounced that okay? Or Kanan?
It's Kanan.
Kanan. Fail for Whiteley.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Tom, I just finished a movie earlier actually a couple months ago where I had your haircut.
Really?
I did a film with Bruce. Well, actually, I did 2 films with Bruce Willis in Puerto Rico this year, and the director's a really good friend of mine. And he kept teasing me, saying that I was going to have to get a mohawk, texting me, and I thought he was kidding me. And I got there, and full on mohawk.
I got like I got the thank you. I got the Semi Hawk. I've been rocking it like steady for going on like 6-7 years now, and it's cool because like the most of the hair gone, part of the hair like longer has come back into vogue for like a lot of fashion. So the Mohawk fits it perfectly. So everyone's like, "Oh, look at that trendy motherfucker. He's really on point." And I'm like, "No, I just never lost it from when I was a kid." And I was like, "I like that haircut."
It's interesting the way people kind of react to you.
Absolutely.
I would get on the elevator going up to my room after filming, and I would see mothers with their children just kind of put their arms around them and gently move them to the side.
I feel with a haircut like this that makes not even like a statement. It just makes a statement to everybody else, not to me, but like to everyone else. You just gotta be extra nice when you're rocking this haircut. So then, like, oh, okay, it's just hair. You're like, yes, it's just fucking hair. Get over yourself. The only other problem is that like with the way that the culture is very PC right now, a lot of people are like, "You're culturally appropriating that haircut, aren't you?" And I'm like, I don't think so. They're like, "Oh, yes, you are." And I'm like,
Mr. T?
yeah, that's it, 100%. They're like, "Yo, Mr. T did it first. Where's your chains, you piece of shit?" No, the Mohawk Indians were a big community that had it, and I think that continued all the way to the dog soldiers in World War II. It was a similar thing, but generally speaking, no one has the smarts to call me out on it. So I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I think I'll be all right.
I think it's one of those hairdos as well that just doesn't lose its like. I mean, like the Peaky Blinders thing was a thing for a while recently. And we shave the side of their heads and have the comb over. We did it with Timmy, my 6-year-old. He looked cool. I saw a picture of him the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, he looked like a right chap." A chap, by the way, here in the UK is a real common, like, "Yo," the kind of to explain a chap to American guys is a very odd one. But like, I look at it now, I'm like, "Oh my god, he's just." Terrible, but like about the time it's like, oh, so cool. Also, I want to explain, if you guys can make out I did try to wipe it off. Tom is my witness. He's got a teardrop still on my. I just come back from the prison, so I'm covered in these fake tattoos. I work at a prison as an actor, so I've got these very terrible drawn on tattoos.
He's a very good live performer. People go through this shut down old jail, and it's almost like an experience, a scare room, a whole bunch of things kind of like amalgamated together. And Alex is, what's up?
What's it called?
It's Shrewsbury Prison in the UK. So Shrewsbury Prison closed in 2013. And they run events there, so they have escape rooms and they have prison escapes. So instead of an escape room, you're trying to escape a whole prison, and there's like live actors like me, like, they're running around and dodge the geezer and I get up to stuff and screw people over and stuff. Yeah, it's quite cool.
But enough about us. You're our guest today, Sean. So tell us about yourself. How does it all begin for you, sir?
How does it all begin? Well, my mother and my father got together. They had a little
Bomb.
No, I moved out to Los Angeles in 1987. I knew I wanted to be an actor. I was going to school in Boston at Boston University, and so I transferred to UCLA to finish my political science degree and really embark on my acting career in earnest. And knocked on a lot of doors, had a lot of them slammed in my face, eventually kind of got my foot in, and then just, continued to be pretty tenacious. Karate Kid 3 was definitely, my big break, sort of put me on the, the international map because the film was, internationally known. But yeah, I've been doing this for over 30 years now. I'm also very involved with producing and writing, and that's kind of about it.
Is this something that you always? I try to not ask like generic questions. Did you always want to be an actor? But did you always want to be an actor? It's something like you woke up one day and you thought.
I talk about this a lot in my book, Way of the Cobra. I grew up in a pretty small town, about 25,000 people. And I think when you grow up in a small town, you have a natural tendency to want to look beyond your immediate horizon to the bigger world. And so for me, my greatest form of escape was going to movies. I loved going to movies by myself. And I didn't know it at the time, but Clint Eastwood as the outlaw Josie Wales and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Bruce Lee were my earliest mentors. And in addition to being mentors, I was really wowed by the effect of seeing these guys on this 30-foot screen. And I think probably that started to spark an interest in me to want to act. And, initially, I think I wanted to become an actor to, kind of express myself. And as I've gotten older and gone down the path more, I've realized that it's not just about expressing myself. Really, what I want to do is inspire people. And, acting is only one conduit to doing that. I also am able to do that with my motivational speaking and my writing and even my producing. So, it's something I wanted to do very early on, but it grew into something I think a lot more defined as I gained a little more life experience.
I also find that people, because I'm from a small community as well. Like, I was born in New York, an hour outside New York City, so that's not that big. But I grew up in Vermont. Like, this is where I've been. Yeah, absolutely. This is where I've been for like most of my life. And I find that people that are from a small community, aside from wanting to, branch out and see more, they also want their voice to be heard more, because it almost seems like it's so impossible to kind of like reach out beyond that. You just tend to be a little bit louder than the average person. Like, I bet if you were to put your drive compared to somebody in, like, let's say LA, that started off in LA, I bet you your drive would be a tiny bit more if I was to take a guess, just because it's so unreal from where we stand in life at that point compared to someone that grew up, 20 feet down the road from when they were filming movies all the time.
I imagine quite daunting as well, though. Daunting is like, oh my God, look at all these lights and all these people and all this noise and there's cars and stuff everywhere,
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't exactly a hayseed. I mean, I went to
Hey, what's wrong being a hayseed?
I went to college in Boston, so I mean, I was pretty much in the big city by the time I was about 18 years old. But I've always considered myself a little more of a city mouse than a country mouse.
So walk us through. I read your IMDb. I saw that you're on like Step by Step, and there's this. The first thing on there was Werewolves. Was that a TV show? If I'm not mistaken?
Werewolf was a show that was on Fox Television. That was the first television show I ever did, and it's kind of funny. The actor who was the lead actor on Werewolf was a guy named John J. York, who I would later go on to work with on General Hospital. And while I was and also the other co-star in that episode was an actress named Cammie Cooper, who would later become my character on General Hospital's girlfriend. The other guy that was a co-star in that episode was best friends with Billy Zabka from Karate Kid 3. He plays Johnny Lawrence. So Billy came to the set, and I actually got to meet him a good year or so before I ever won the part of Mike Barnes in the Karate Kid 3. So it was that one show was really interesting. There were a lot of intersections to it that, had this sort of paid off later in my career.
I mean, I do think about the Cobras. Did they all meet up in a bar afterwards and be like, yeah, because like when they've been making Kobra Kai, it just seems like they have such a close connection, So I genuinely thought about that. Did they all meet up in a bar and have this secret?
Well, I was in the third one, so I was the only Cobra. Apart from Martin Kove, who plays Sensei Kreese. So all the guys like Ron Thomas and Tony O'Dell and Billy and those guys all knew each other, did a film together, and were very close. I got to know Billy, and now I mean Billy's a friend. I don't see him that often, but we talk every now and again and see each other occasionally at events and things like that. But I think, once you put on the black sleeveless gi, I think you're part of a fraternity. But I will tell you this, last night I went and had dinner with Daryl Vidal. Daryl Vidal played Vidal from Locust Valley Karate, who fought Johnny Lawrence, and he's the inventor of the crane kick. And he and I are good friends. I actually train with Daryl. He trains me in Filipino stick and knife fighting, and so we're really good friends. Yeah.
Now, Is it like a little is a little like scary to join onto a product that's already so well established? Because I mean, at the point, like, you know, Karate Kid was, you know, Karate Kid, for fuck's sake. I mean, Daniel-san, everything else, and you're joining up, you know, a couple movies in. Is that kind of like a scary type of thing, or is that more exciting?
It was both. You know, Tom, I was a guy that a year before I got the role was like a paying customer watching Karate Kid 2. And, you know, I grew up on Happy Days. So for me, Pat Morita was Arnold before he was Mr. Miyagi, right? I mean,
yes.
So, you know, when I got the role, there was a period that it was very surreal for me. And I had to very quickly get over that pinch me mentality and realize that I was there to do a job. And, you know, the other thing is that all of the other guys had worked together. Thomas Ian Griffith was obviously new like I was, but, you know, they were known commodities. The producers knew what they could do. And I was a very, very new actor. And, you know, they hired me, but I don't think they really were 100% confident that I was going to be able to, you know, cross the finish line. And it really wasn't until the final All Valley tournament scene, you know, where they actually came up to me and they said, you did it, you were able to make it happen. And that really kind of let me know that, you know, they were concerned, you know, because if that final scene didn't work, then the entire movie doesn't work at all. So yeah, it was daunting, but once I realized, okay, this is like, you know, put your big boy pants on, because this is a big movie and it's got, you know, international following and I've got a job to do. You know, I got to it.
Now, did you have any like experience in fighting prior to this? Did they pick you based on the fact that you took karate as a kid, or was this something you kind of had to learn on the job?
No, I'd studied Shotokan karate for years before taking the role. So
nice.
I had a pretty strong background in Japanese karate, which was very similar to, you know, what Mike Barth. Actually, though, I guess through Kobra Kai, we have now come to learn that Kobra Kai is based on Tang Soo Do, which is Korean. But, you know, here's the thing, without getting in the weeds, I really don't think that they could have hired somebody with no martial arts background and made this guy look like a black belt. You know, in addition to all the dialogue and everything that, you know, you had to do for the film, we had intense choreography to learn. And, you know, just being able to do it was only one part of it. There was being able to do it, remembering it, and being able to do it in a way that was safe so that, you know, Ralph wasn't going to get hurt or anyone else wasn't going to get hurt. I wasn't going to get hurt. If anyone gets hurt, that's, you know, that grinds production to a halt.
That wouldn't be very good to accidentally knock out like a Ralph Macchio around the web. Like, oh boy, Daniel-san. Well, to be fair, you kind of have a weak jaw. So, I mean, like, I just want to put it out there. I know this is Karate Kid.
Yeah.
But you ever think about maybe making it the Sean Kanan kid by any chance? Because he just went down really quick.
You guys have a tough time with my last name, don't you?
I really do. Well, to be totally fair, like normally I'm a tiny bit better, but like I've been up for what times are now? 2:00. I've been up for 23 and a half hours.
Oh, he does this every week. So I'm whining. Oh, I've done a night shift. Oh my God, I'm so tired.
Just put the mat down, brother. Just put it down.
I really wish that was given to me on the job. I feel like I would do a much better job, but they haven't taken recreational drug use into the insurance policy yet. I feel it's really a downfall on their side of it, being like, oh, we should probably look into this. No, it's just the way it works with my family. You know, I got 3 kids. I got a wife. I want to be able to see them during the school year, and unfortunately, the night shift, because I refuse to step down in jobs, I want to continue trending upwards. Obviously,
I like that.
What's up? I'm sorry.
I said I like that. That's a good attitude.
Thank you. I really wish I did something else, but that's okay. Alex, you man with the hand.
I know. I was like, why are they ignoring? They're not talking. I was muted the whole time. I was like, I was talking about Taekwondo, and you know, you're saying about how you can't really do this without a bit of training. You know, talking about movements and getting your leg up and stuff. My kid goes to Taekwondo, and we go with him every week to watch him. And there's some people there that are just amazing at what they do. Obviously, the black belts to help with the kids and stuff, and the way they can get their leg up and spin around and stuff. And Taekwondo and karate, very similar. I can appreciate that. Now, it comes the important question is with Kobra Kai just literally blowing up everywhere. It literally is one of the biggest things at the moment. Has your phone rang at all?
I get asked this question, honestly, probably about 50 times a week. And I can't say. I mean, I tell people, keep the faith. I don't think we've seen the last of Mike Barnes. But just sort of out of a sense of fairness to the show, I really don't comment on that one way or the other. I'm
kind of glad you chose that road, because it would be a huge spoiler. Because like if we do see you like come out of a curtain or something, like, oh, he's been on that show, like it'd be quite nice. But like I do worry about not worry. I think about it. Like these guys have been out of this for a few years. Johnny Lawrence is like in his 40s now, 50. And yet he's back to training, and he's throwing people around as if he was like just doing it yesterday. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, listen, Billy Zabka is a really great martial artist. He's very good, and these guys are training constantly. I mean, they are, training, every week, probably every day.
Imagine since they got the call, they'd be like, "Ooh, this is our chance."
I think they probably had to knock the dust off a little bit, but I mean, I think they all look great. So
now, so you get this amazing role. You get to be in Karate Kid Part 3. Where's that lead you to next?
So after that, I wound up doing a television show called The Outsiders, based on a book by S.E. Hinton. There was the movie that was made with Tom Cruise and Patrick Swayze and all those guys. They did a television version of that. Francis Ford Coppola produced it. It was great.
Get the fuck out of here! What was that like? That must have been impressive.
Amazing. I mean, that was a book that I grew up reading. I loved the books by S.E. Hinton, and I got to play the leader of the Socias, which was the rich kids gang. This is set in Oklahoma in the 50s, and you got the rich kids gang, and then you got the greasers, and it was amazing. After that, I did a couple of the things, and then, I realized that a lot of these roles I was getting was a result of, more of being a young, good-looking guy and having some charisma. And if I really wanted to have longevity in this business, then I really had to, have respect for acting. I had to, make my bones. And I went and did a play, which was one of the best things that I could have ever done. I got back in acting class, and I worked really hard. And from there, I wound up getting the role on General Hospital, which wound up being about a 5-year run.
Wow.
And then later went back in 2015, after 15 years, to reprise my role. So, I got, look, a lot of people knew who I was, but I needed to kind of, go and do the work so that, so that I could keep doing this and not kind of be a little flash in the pan.
Yes. Now, he's done lots of he's very versatile. Look at all the roles he's played. Look at this. It will pay off one day. Yeah.
Sean's the fucking Swiss Army knife of actors for once. I mean, come on, guys. Let's give him some.
I like it.
Now, would you have preferred to do say 3 or 4 more movies, or do you feel that something like the soap opera was more beneficial to you as an actor because it's a completely different thing? It's out of maybe your comfort level or wheelhouse, and it kind of teaches you how to be a little bit more quick on your feet. Which one would you prefer to do?
I mean, I would be lying if I said would I have loved to have starred in 3 more big budget films. Of course I would have, but I don't know that I could have done it effectively. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I think going to the soap opera, it did help me learn how to make acting choices very quickly. I was getting the opportunity, to act professionally every single day. So it would.
Oh,
really so hugely followed that I went from one project that was really well known to another one that was really well known, and so it gave me a lot of visibility as an actor, which is very helpful when trying to win other roles.
Oh, absolutely, and especially because, like you said, you know, the soap opera is so widely known, and it's funny because Robin Williams said to Kevin Smith one time, you know, Kevin asked him, "What are you most known for?" It must be like, you know, "Hello Vietnam" or something along these lines, and he's like, "No, you know, after so many years, it's still Mork. People yell out Mork because you're in people's homes every day, you know, and they depend on you, and they, you know, they see more of you that way than any other media." So. I guess, you know, of course, for the, you know, for the work, it was very important, but then as well as like almost a like a tech school of sorts, it was also very important for your career.
Right. No, I look, I really enjoyed doing soap operas. I also had a really long run on The Bold and the Beautiful, which at the time was syndicated in over 100 countries, and it afforded me the opportunity to work extensively in Europe. So yeah, I have no regrets about the time that I spent on daytime.
Oh no, of course, and I hope I wasn't like leading on to the fact that you would be buying sorts.
No, I think it's really important though, because like, you know, you my wife threw on Home and Away randomly the other day. She used to watch that show religiously. It's one of the biggest soaps on the planet, and she used to watch it religiously. And she threw it on. She was like, "Oh, they're still in it. Oh, and they're still in it. Oh, Marilyn's still there. All these people that are in there, and these people, like you said, they're part of people's lives. You know, if you could get a gig on Home and Away for like, I don't know, 15, 20 years, that's the dream, isn't it? Surely."
Well, I mean, I think it depends. It depends what you want to do. I mean, for me at this point in my career, I've started doing a lot of films again. Like I said, I just finished two terrific action films with Bruce Willis earlier this year. They're going to be coming out, I believe, in October, and I'm about to start another film next week, and then I leave to go to Italy to start another film. So, you know, I'm finally getting to a point in my career where I'm doing what I really wanted to do, which is, you know, going from one film to the next. You know, some of them are less recognizable than others, but you know, that's what I like to do. I mean, I think you get a better opportunity for preparation and rehearsal on films, and I don't know. I think, you know, films are forever. You know, you do a film, whether it's a piece of shit or it's good, it's there forever, as opposed to television, which now television is archived on the internet, but you know, I just think there's something really special about film.
Oh, absolutely. It brings you to a different world. It's one of my favorite things. And I've spoken about this a lot. Like, I lived down the road from a drive-in movie theater. So the summers were very important to me as a kid. We'd sneak in, we'd see every single movie that was coming out that year, at least in the summertime months. And it brings you somewhere for an hour or two a night. It brings you somewhere. Yeah. And that's why films are so important. Plus, you know, they're the oldest way of viewing it. TV is relatively new in like the parlance of media, if we really think about it. Things like the radio and the movie have been around for 100+ years now. It's pretty impressive. Why do you think that people fall so hard for soap operas, in your opinion? Because I mean, like, there are fans of things without doubt, but like soap opera fans, just like, you know, Alex's wife and a couple other people I've met, like my best friend's grandmother, they're die-hard fans. Why do you think that is?
I think there are a couple reasons. I think at the core, soap operas are based on relationships. And most soap operas have been on for so long that audiences have had a long time to connect with the characters and see them go through multiple emotional struggles and changes, and they feel bonded to them. I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing is that, unlike a film where you have to go get in your car, drive to the theater, pay $20 and sit in the dark and pay attention, soap operas, like most television, you can turn it on passively, even as background noise, but it's something that it's kind of like a reassuring constant that is in a lot of people's lives, always there, always dependable when you want it. And I think that creates sort of a psychological bond to it.
There's a family aspect to it as well. I mean, my growing up, my parents would watch soaps, and they would be like, "Oh my God, Ashley was about to walk in and Janice, and we're about to find out what happens." And they've had to wait all weekend, and they all crowd around on Monday because they can't wait to see what Ashley says to Janice. And it's got that family aspect. Everybody crowds around the TV, and they're kind of like, "Ooh, here it comes!" It's
it's a denominator that the family can talk about together, and effectively it's a way of, I guess, bonding the family when multiple people in the family watch it and can discuss it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, even me, who I don't particularly, and no offense to anyone that does, the only like soap opera I got tricked into watching was I fell in love with True Blood, and I got to the very end of the series, I was like, that was a fucking soap opera if I've ever seen one. And but like I said, my best friend growing up, his grandmother loved soap operas, but she'd also watch like The Price is Right in the morning. So I'd wait for my friend to get up, and I'd watch TV with his gram, and we'd bullshit, and then eventually the soap operas would come on. Be like, well, it's time to wake up Damien. But even like the theme song of certain soap operas just kicking these nostalgia feels of like hot summer days and waiting in my buddy's basement for him to get his ass up out of bed so we can go, find some mischief for the day.
Love it.
It's really Arrow too. I was kind of like, this is getting kind of soap opera at one point. I was kind of like, I don't really care for these relationships these superheroes are supposed to be having. Let's do some DC stuff.
I think it's because they watch like soap operas and like, wait a minute, they get like 1 million plus viewers every single day, and that's 5 days a week. How could we like get this algorithm right so we can accomplish the same thing?
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like because you have got a vast array of different roles that you've played? I always wonder whether like typecasting becomes if you get that one role that turns you into, I don't know, a Joker type character, and now everybody thinks you're the villain and you get played for villains all the time. Well, is that something that an actor wants or doesn't want?
Well, I think there are times when an actor plays a role that they become so identifiable with, it's a double-edged sword. I don't think Ralph Macchio would have any complaints about being recognized as Daniel LaRusso, but has it made it more difficult for him to get other roles? Maybe. Early on in my career, I was getting typecast. I was playing a lot of bad guys, sort of those James Spader-esque, blonde-haired, snarky, assholes. And now, as I got a few lines on my face and I've been around the block a few times, I'm getting other roles offered to me, which are infinitely more fun to play. I've had to fight really, really hard and diligently to get out of the mold of being a soap opera actor. And I still hear it. And it's, so I haven't done a soap opera now for probably 5 years. And in that time, I've done quite a bit of other stuff. And, it's still a struggle sometimes to get people to see me. I'm hoping that after these 2 films with Bruce Willis come out and this next film I'm doing, that people are going to start, putting soap operas in the rearview window for me and seeing me more in a different light. But, I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. I can't really worry about, how people are seeing me.
No, absolutely. Now, I kind of feel, and maybe since you're an actual act, like I've never acted a day in my life, maybe you can tell me if I'm just crazy. I feel like typecasting is kind of falling to the wayside a tiny bit in the generation that we're in. Like, you'll have some of the best comedians be the most serious roles nowadays. And of course, they've always done something similar. But now I think it's easier for, certain actors to accomplish certain things, like, in the way of like a Jordan Peele. They'll be like, oh, you want to direct a horror movie? Sure. Or Chris Rock, you want to do a horror movie? Sure. Do you feel that it's kind of going to the wayside, or is it still very prevalent? And me as an outsider, I just don't see it.
Undoubtedly, you're seeing major film actors doing television projects because some of the very, very best entertainment is on television now.
Yeah,
these limited television series. I just saw one with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant, and they called it a limited series, and it was fantastic. Yes. And you're getting like A-list, film people wanting to do television for a number of reasons. The first is television moves very quickly, and that's appealing. Generally, you're doing television a lot of it can be done in, Los Angeles, where a lot of actors live, which means they don't have to go on location and leave their family. So I think that has broken down some of the walls of stigma that, people that have been on television encounter when trying to make the crossover to film. I think there is still a lot of it, but I do think it's gotten better.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't know. I think it does still exist, but I think it's getting better.
Oh, well, it's good. I mean, like I would hope that'd be the case because if anything's been proven, it's that no one person should do one thing for too long because then it becomes disinteresting, and you don't want to keep pursuing your love because it becomes a job and less of a love.
Right. And I'm lucky. Still not it doesn't feel like a job. Most of the time.
I feel like one of the most typecast people at the moment is Lena Headey. She did a brilliant job with Cersei Lannister, and then all of a sudden you see her in Dread. Was Dread come before? No, I think Dread came afterwards, isn't it? Well, she's a great bitch, isn't she? She played that Cersei Lannister role brilliantly, and they're like, oh, who can play a great bad guy? Oh, let's just get Lena Headey, and she does a great job. I don't think. And then I saw her in Fighting with My Family, that wrestling movie she did. And I was just like, oh my God, this role's perfect for her because she plays the wrestling heel, but the family woman as well. It's brilliant.
Is that a Game of Thrones reference that I just missed?
That an actor has, I think what happens is an actor has success in one role, and it becomes very desirable for producers to put them in a like role because they're now a known commodity that can do that role. And the flip side of that is that they are offered a lot of money to do it. And so it becomes difficult sometimes to say no to that, when you're trying to, build financial stability and everything. But at a certain point, and I've reached this in my career, you have to make the conscious decision to either say no to roles that may pay you a lot of money, but aren't going to do anything to stretch you out of your, not only your comfort zone, but how you're perceived by the industry and the audience at large.
Yeah. I mean, Jason Momoa, you couldn't get him to play an accountant, sit him at a desk. But okay, you can wear you could get him a cute and cuddly sweater and get him to do, a very slow drama. But I mean, Adam Driver did that with the Marriage Story thing with, Scarlett Johansson. That was fantastic as well.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, typecast is kind of like something that is falling to the wayside because they got to give everyone a chance to do everything. I think the days of like an Adam West where he was only offered that role after Batman just kind of like is not really the case because they're willing to take a chance. There's so much stuff out there that they have to take risks, right? That's like Netflix's strategy for the last 3 years.
I mean, I think there's ways for actors to try and break out of that. I mean, one is to go do theater. If you've got a big name in television or certainly in film, and you want people to see you in another light in a role that you might not otherwise be offered, go do a play. I mean, granted, not everybody sees a play, but a lot of industry people see plays. The other is, to do what I did. I created my own series on Amazon Prime, Studio City, and we just won the Emmy for best show. So,
congratulations! It's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, it'd been my dream to get this show made, and I was going to create a role for myself that was going to allow me to, demonstrate some of the other things that I can do. Oddly enough, it is about an aging soap star, but it's, the character is not a soap opera character. He's a guy that's got all sorts of interpersonal problems and, insecurities and shortcomings and stuff. And, it's been really wonderful for me to get recognition for that.
Is that the one where they start off the trailer with the soap opera dude like in the bedroom with the two chicks? Did I see a commercial for your show and I didn't even realize it? Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up afterwards. I'm not very good.
It's called Studio City. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
I
I'm
definitely
absolutely
want
going
to
to check that out. Yeah, absolutely.
Probably should have done that before you came on the show, Sean. I do apologize.
Well, to be totally fair, I find that this is better to find out this stuff organically than if we did all the research in the world, because then we're just a couple of other interviewers. This is a podcast. It's supposed to be more of a conversation, less of a interview show. And I feel that's more, exactly, more beneficial for me, more beneficial for you. But that sounds excellent. Me and the wife got to watch something tonight. We've run out of stuff to watch. I want to try to do Suicide Squad because it looks good. I don't know if anyone else has actually seen the trailers for the new Suicide.
Yeah.
It looks far better than the last couple movies they put out. James Gunn, of course, is backing the whole thing, so it's got that Guardians of the Galaxy buddy feel. Right. So I feel it's absolutely worth the shot. But we tend to get done with stuff, and we're like, well, what do you want to do next? And I definitely want to check that out.
Studio City is shot. It's called a limited fiction series. So the episodes are between 12 and 15 minutes each. They're very digestible. You can watch all 11 episodes. In a couple hours, and I think you'll dig it. It's funny. It's a funny show.
Now, where'd you come up with that model? Like, 11 to 15 minute long episodes. Was that something that was already being offered, or was that something you came up with yourself? And you're like, this is how it.
It was largely a function of the resources that we had to make the show. It was also. It also appealed to our director, because he was, going to use equipment and crew that he had left over from a film and kind of slide them into it. And this was what we could do, was do these shorter form episodes. Right now we're in discussions to take the show to a longer format rather. So that's my hope, that we take it to, a 22-minute to 30-minute format.
What we'll do then is we'll watch this, and then if you do get it, we'll bring you back on the show. We'll talk about it.
I like
It'll be amazing.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that'll be more beneficial for the story structure of the show, or do you think that might be a little dangerous since you already have had success in the way that it's formatted right now?
I don't know. That's a really valid question, and it's one that we wrestle with too. I feel really confident in the crew that we have and the cast that we have and the writing team, of which I'm one, and my wife is one. I would welcome the challenge. I would love the opportunity to really open it up and, explore more about each of these characters' lives. It would afford us the opportunity also to bring on new characters and develop them. And, one of the things that happens when you win an Emmy is your phone starts ringing and actors start saying, hey man, I've known you for 20 years. Can I get on your show? So some of the people that are calling are the ones you called initially to work on the show. And they, when you're an unproven commodity and you say, hey, come on the show, people are like, I don't know, and once you get a little bit of recognition, people are more open to it.
Oh, the chicken comes home to roost. Not at all, dickhead. Off you fuck. Like, just imagine it. Oh my god, what a position to be in. And of course, like you mentioned it before, that you do a lot of motivational speaking and stuff. Is there a goal there to bring on a new generation of actors and help hone in young talent?
Well, my motivational speaking is not directed towards actors. I have a book out now. It's called Way of the Cobra, and it's a motivational book. Set up that you were in my dojo, I'm the sensei, you're my student. Cobra is an acronym for character optimization, balance, respect, and abundance. And these are the strategies that I've used through my life to achieve some of my success. And the book is doing incredibly well. And it's my wife coming out. Let's make sure she has clothes on. Hi, babe. Doing an interview.
She's closed.
Hello.
Fine. We're good.
Yeah, either way, we're totally good. I mean, it's either going to be great ratings or phenomenal ratings, and we'll give her top billing and everything if that's the case, man. I mean, we don't want to be disrespectful, but you got to be respectful.
You're a trooper, Tom. Thanks.
Oh, no problem, brother. I'm that guy. It's my it's my wedding anniversary today. So, like, as a dude. Thank you. As a dude that's been married for 11 years, I think I understand nothing about women, so that seems like the best idea in the world for me.
Yeah, I like it. So are you planning something special to do with your wife?
Kind of. So we're getting tattoos tomorrow. We're getting not matching, but like conjoined tattoos. So when we hold hands,
like a
yeah, kind of. It's a tree, and I'm getting half of the tree with the roots and everything, and then she's getting the other half of the tree. So when we exactly. So when we hold hands, she's chopping down the tree at that point and basically saying, "You're a real prick." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but it's cool though." We're doing that. We also had fortunately like a loss in the family recently, so we did have plans to go out tonight, but that kind of changed because now we have to do all sorts of different things. We got to go down to New Jersey on Monday, so things change. But being together for 14 years, because we've been married for 11, together 14, you kind of learn to just kind of go with the flow. So if that's what happens, that's what happens.
That's what marriage is. It's going through life together. Whether life is easy or not easy at the time, you're doing it with, someone you love. So that's great.
And speaking about that, was your wife a writer prior to the show, or is that just something you saw in her and you just kind of wanted to see if she was interested in doing?
No, I think she's had a really strong acumen for writing for a long time. The show definitely, created a platform for her to really jump in and show everybody what she's got. We were both nominated for actually, did we win? I can't remember. We were nominated for a writing award for the Indie Series Awards, and she's getting all sorts of accolades and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just hanging on to the coattails. But she's directing her first film next month in Italy, which is really exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, so I get to go along as the +1 and hang out in Italy.
Check me out on the +1. I mean, that must be really amazing for her, right? And of course for you as well. It's just like right out the gate, instant success with something that, you maybe had a love for doing. And you're like, let me try this in a professional manner. And then bam, fucking Emmy nomination.
Cool because,
that's amazing.
Living with, one of the head writers of the show, it's like I'm in an incubator 24 hours a day with my creative partner. And it's not just, hey, we're going to the writing room at the studio. It's just, at all hours, we might just sort of talk about something, and to have that ability to do that, I think is a real advantage.
Yeah. Do you find it to be a little strainful at sometimes? Because
Oh no, absolutely. We totally want to strangle each other sometimes.
I tried doing a podcast with my wife for a little bit, and I realized that it was just another pressure we tried adding on to one another. And we're like, okay, so I'm going to do this, and you continue being your amazing self over there, but we'll see each other in between. So it's all good. So I understand that type of struggle, and I applaud you for being able to, deal with it, man. I mean, really, it's not easy.
I believe that art sometimes comes from friction rather than absorption. And, we definitely have our friction, but in the creative process, but it's spirited debate, and generally best idea wins. And I wouldn't trade it.
And plus, having a good southpaw doesn't hurt. When she's like, "Oh, you don't like it," bam, and you're like, "Oh, I love the idea, brilliant."
Yeah. I mean, it's just not. It's so cool to have someone to bash ideas around with. Do you know what I mean? My wife is who reached out to you, Sean, to bring you onto the show. So she's starting to have an active role in what we do with the podcast. But you know, it's like if I was to sit there and talk to her about microphones and whatnot and what we talk about with the podcast, so she'd be like, "What the fuck?"
I think one of the things in marriage that's really important is that you have to be very cautious that you don't begin leading separate lives. And if you're able to integrate the things that you do together, it really is, it's a bonding thing. It's something that, is generally very good for a marriage. Like you said, if you were doing your podcast by yourself and she was uninvolved, it's just one more thing that's kind of your thing, not your guys' thing. You guys doing it. Hit me in the head with a grammar book. The two of you doing it together.
Yeah.
Early, I'm like on my first cup of coffee, guys.
Oh, you're good, man. I understand that sleep deprivation. I feel that like sometimes that's okay as well, though, right? Because like I have one thing. I have a bunch of things. I'm a very fortunate dude. I got the family. I got the wife, the kids. This is like my hobby. This is my job. Like I go to work, I hang out with my family, do all that normal stuff. And then this is like my 1 hour throughout the week. And then we do a Wednesday night, which is also an hour. So I get like 2 hours. That's just mine. And she's been very cool about, understanding that and being like, well, when I met him, he was an artsy type of dude. And throughout us being together, we had kids and responsibilities. And now that everyone's in a more comfortable position, he can start to express himself again. And I feel that's very, very important. So there's also a good way about doing it the other way too, I'd say, because I also agree with you.
Well, look, I think it's what works for the marriage. My father and mom have been married for 55 years, and my dad said, I never wanted to work with your mother because I wanted to have something to talk to her about when I came home. And, it's whatever works. I mean,
that is like a big conversation in the morning. It's like, okay, well, what'd you do last night? Oh, that's cool. Who do you have to deal with today?
Yeah.
We are the constant bouncing wall of the animosities that go on at the workplace, which is good, right? Or like the healthy one that can't get you in trouble.
Well, this is the interesting concept is that my wife has been working at home throughout COVID, right? She started a new job this year, and she's never met anybody there because it's a new job. Send her a laptop, and it is interesting. And like when we sat down, I'll come in from work or something because I work nights. I'll come in the morning. She sat the laptop, and she's like, "Oh, guess what they did in the accounting? Oh, they did this. I'm just kind of like, okay. But then I realized she kind of needs this.
Yeah.
Because that's what you would do in the office. They gossip in the office, and you kind of had to just let her blow off a bit of steam and be like, "Yes, babe, I totally understand. I hope things get better for you." It's an interesting scenario. It really is, but you can't go out.
So socialization is taking on an entirely new face and meaning in the workplace, given that most people are working remotely now, and it's been fantastic for business owners because they don't have to, a lot of them are getting rid of brick and mortar stores, and people love it because they don't have to travel back and forth to an office. But there is also the reality that it is a bit detached. I mean, there is a lot to be said when you've got a bunch of people milling about an office, exchanging ideas. Hopefully creativity is produced. Does that happen when you're, talking to people through Zoom? I don't know. It can, but I don't know if it's necessarily as effective. I think time will tell.
Now, let's get off the lovely train of the wives and talk. You mentioned the Bruce Willis flicks a couple times. Are you allowed to talk about those? Are they still pretty?
Sure.
So what are they?
So I did 2 films with Bruce Willis in Puerto Rico. He signed a deal with a company called Emmett Furlow Productions for 3 pictures, and they're all being shot in Puerto Rico. So they're both action films. They're going to be coming out in October. The first one, which is called Survive the Game, is going to be coming out in October. It's going to get a limited theatrical release, then go to video on demand. And then the second one is a 2-part film called The Fortress. And I think that's going to get a fairly wide release. Great working with them. I mean, like you guys, I grew up watching them. I mean, Bruce Willis. It was an incredible honor to be a part of that, and a lot of fun. I got to carry a machine gun through the jungles of Puerto Rico, looking like a badass in one of them. So it was a great experience.
You're shooting a machine gun in the air. They're like, put me on a soap opera now.
Yeah, bitches.
Bruce, like, what'd you say? Like, nothing. I'm working through some stuff over here, Bruce. Don't worry about it. It's cool, right?
Amazing. The Fortress looks great. It really does. Yeah.
I will be keeping my eyes open for that. I always like talking to people that are involved in things, because when I was a lot younger, I watched the Dawn of the Dead, the original, the George A. Romero 1979 Dawn of the Dead. Exactly. And they came out with this really cool like triple disc like collector's edition, and it was right as I was getting into collecting DVDs, and I saw the 3.5 hours of Tom Savini putting on makeup, like doing the whole thing, and I just fell in love with making people into monsters. Like that Christmas, I got a makeup kit, and I started practicing and doing theater work and all sorts of stuff. And it was up until I met my wife, I was going to go out to Hollywood. That was my next step. I was like, all right, I've accomplished enough in my talents. I can do a good enough job. The next step is Hollywood and to try my luck. And then I met my wife, and things changed all over the place.
Right.
And so, like, I understand what it's like to want to be involved with something that big, and especially working with somebody like Bruce Willis, who we've seen our entire lives, and be like, wow, I get a chance to act with him. That's excellent, man.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Rambled a bunch. That's
we were looking to we spoke to Jeffrey Wiseman a few weeks ago, who's George McFly, on part 2 and 3 of Back to the Future, and he came on the show and he's like, "Hey, I'm George Wiseman." I was like, we were both me and Tom blown away. We're like, "Whoa, this guy needs a podcast." We wanted, I don't know,
Great voice, huh?
He had an amazing voice for it. It really did, and
crazy knowledgeable. He just knows like everything about every movie, like quite the encyclopedia. We do Alex does another show called Yelling at Clouds with a good friend of ours, Eric Pfluger, and he's one of those gentlemen that know everything about. Hey, look at that! There's background. He knows everything about every movie ever made. I think it would be like the most interesting thing to get him and Jeffrey Wiseman to talk about film. Yeah. For
I want to do like a behind what's going on here. I want to do like a behind the curtain sort of acting thing. So talk about Hollywood and movies, the making of movies, and not necessarily bring in like huge celebrities, but someone like come and sit with us every week and talk about stories that they've heard and get people on. Just to talk about actors and the troubles they go through.
Real talk.
I like that. Well, call me up when you do it.
Oh, absolutely.
We will do.
So you're going to Italy with the wife to go view a movie that she's going to be directing. How long does something like that take?
Well, we're doing part of the film in Italy, so that part's probably will be over there for about 10 days, and then we come back and shoot in California. And it depends. It depends what the budget of a film is. Lower budget films, you generally have less days to shoot, which makes it more difficult. And big budget films, you wind up being able to shoot for 3 months. So this is going to be on the lesser side day wise, but hey, look, it's in Italy. That's going to be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. It really does sound amazing. Now, Sean, I know we're running short on time. Before we go into sort of start rounding the show up, I want to say again a huge thank you to my wife, Kaz, for bringing you on, and you as well, obviously, for coming on.
Thank you. That was great of her. Please
it really was.
She's been really killing it with the whole like getting us different guests. Alex been very busy with like 1,000 different projects he's doing. I'm dealing
Which I'll
with
tell you about in a second, Sean.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. But we could probably finish up after we let our guests go, since we don't want to keep them all day. Do you want to finish off the later lounge and all that stuff?
We can do.
We
okay,
cool. All right. Well, yeah. You go ahead.
Sean, where can people find you? Social media and stuff. Where can people follow you?
You can find me on Instagram at Sean.Kanan, and I'm on Twitter at Sean Kanan, or you can go to SeanKanan.actor. Right, Michelle?
There's also
.actor, or is it SeanKananActor.com? SeanKanan.actor, and you can check out my new book, Way of the Cobra, at wayofthecobra.com.
Which I've got right here, which you use a Winston Churchill quote.
Just go buy my book. I'll make it real simple for you. Go buy my book.
Buy his book. If we support this gentleman, he is an amazing person, and we are just incredibly grateful for you coming on.
Talking to you guys.
Thank you.
We love movies, and we love people speaking to people that make movies, and the fact that you've got this Way of the Cobra book. I'm just reading the website now. It looks fantastic. So I wish you the best of luck with it.
Alex, I really appreciate it. And guys, I hope we get a chance to do this again. All right.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
We will have you on anytime, sir.
Have a wonderful weekend.
You too, man.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
Have a great day. See you now.
Bye.
Right. Let's slip over to the later lounge. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1, and.
Hey, guys, welcome to the later lounge. Don't mind the sticky floor. our number 2's coming out. Daisy, get your singles ready.
There was a bit of lag on that one, wasn't there? It was very difficult to kind of
a little
get
bit, a little bit. And the unfortunate part about, like, you know, not having people that are, and not to say that he was a lovely, lovely guy, and I'm so grateful for him to come on. It just seems kind of rude to tell people to, like, throw on headphones and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's something that's kind of like a necessity. Maybe we should include that in our emails from now. I'm like, hey, a set of headphones would be fantastic.
It's fine. I really enjoyed speaking to him, but yeah, it's difficult when there's a bit of lag. It's not as, I feel like he was struggling too. So I would love to actually, Sean, if you're watching this back, I would love to get you back on. We like making friends. We don't just like get people on the once. We'll get you on a couple of times. We'll make, you know.
Oh, heck
think of it.
yes. We want to catch
heck
up.
yeah.
Heck yes. This is a
yeah.
talking show where we like to talk. Yeah, sorry about the rambling, bro. Like, my overtiredness is just becoming a real
ramble.
handicap. No, you don't think so?
No, I think you're okay. I think you've been worse. The Carol Baskin, right? So I mentioned on the live show that I watched the Carol Baskin episode with somebody else training up in work, which was awkward. I gotta say, because I don't like. I remember one time they've got an Alexa in work, so I was like, Alexa, play the Shoes with Biscuit podcast. It came, and I was like, stop. It was so weird. But anyway, we watched the Carol Baskin episode, and there was just this one bit where Tom just got into a loop, and I don't know if you remember this, Tom. And I think I texted you and went, "Shut the fuck up!" And you were looking at your thing, and you were like, "Oh yeah, moving on." It was brilliant.
Hey, at least I'm a professional enough to know when I fuck up. All right, like it's not like I played off like I'm totally doing it too. Don't you worry about me, Mr. Whiteley. I'm gonna keep on talking myself into a hole. Thank you. How you been?
I've been tired. Like this, the last few days have just been brilliant but exhausting. So obviously, Wednesday we went to Windsor, and then Thursday we went to Legoland. You know, walked around 16 kilometers, 7.5 miles. I bet.
Oh, good for you.
Dropped my shoe in the ride, which we mentioned earlier. The next day we went to Warwick Castle, which was amazing. There's another sort of 6 or 7 miles walked up and down the bloody. We climbed to the very top of the tower. Did a couple of lives as well. And I finally met Christopher Round. I don't know if you remember rightly, but he was from Uppercut Fight Company, and he was going to come on our show, but he fractured his skull. I don't know if you remember me saying.
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
He was meant to come on, and he'd been on the Biscuit before because he was doing something for a local show here. And I finally got to meet him in person. He was like one of the main nights on these jousting demonstrations and stuff. It was amazing, and I got to meet him properly. I was like, I'll reach out, get him on the show. I was like, how's your head? He's like, well, I've just been fighting. And I was like, yes, so it should be fine. So Chris, we'll get you on the show. And then today I went to prison, and that's another 16,500 steps, you know, so it's crazy busy.
Putting in the work, brother. Fucking before you know it, you're gonna look like Forrest Gump, and when he's running cross country and shit, long beard, running through shit, you know, stuff smeared all over you.
Yeah, and there's lots of events going on in Shrewsbury at the moment. There's 2 going on tonight that I couldn't have covered if they asked me to. There's Let's Rock Shrewsbury, which is all 80s music, 80s rock music, and then there's the 90s revival, which I've got to get those guys on this show. You'll love them. They're great. They're guys that during lockdown started playing like 90s dance music for people in their kitchen, and they just became a sensation, an online sensation.
That is hilarious.
It's great.
So they're so they have like a club inside their kitchen. Like they start off just by inviting a couple people over. How's that work?
No, it was like on Facebook and stuff, Facebook Live. So they started doing this and chatting to people's comments. Yo, that's Dave there from Basing. It went national. It wasn't just like Shrewsbury. It went national. So they were getting comments, you know, thousands of views a go, you know, and off the back of it, they've been doing festivals and stuff. Like, they've been getting like some of the most famous like dance music sort of stars to come on star for them on their shows. Amazing. Wow.
Alex is cut out, and I think that he's frozen into oblivion. So if I have to continue the show by myself, I totally will, because I am just tired enough to try to accomplish it. but he seems like he's back. So let's see. Alex, can you hear me from under the water where you are?
Can you hear me from London? I'm not in London. I'm in Shrewsbury. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. I don't know what happened. My internet went, fuck you, and literally turned itself off. Oh, what happened? I was going to ask you, what would you have liked to have done today with the wife, taking her out and stuff, if obviously things hadn't changed?
We would have went out on a date, without doubt. Like, that's one of the things we don't get to do very much of. Like, we're always with the kids, and that's good because, you know, we love our kids. But the me and her alone time away from, you know, everything is generally how we treat ourselves because we don't get to do enough. So it's always something special. So that would have been the choice. Go down to Burlington, walk around, hang out with her, get the babysitter. But, you know, like, we already have the babysitter coming tomorrow. She's going to be here while we go get our tattoos, and it's going to take some time. So, of course, that adds on to the paycheck, yada, yada, yada. Also, with the New Jersey trip coming up, that kind of is going to deplete all finances. Like, we were, and I'm sorry to get real with you guys, but this is just what it is. So, like, we pay off our bills pretty damn well. Right now we're trying to play catch up from the big trip we took to South Carolina. We're still trying to pay off all the credit cards, and to do all that and make sure we get all the rest of our payments on time is kind of a pain. And so we'll pay ahead, and that's the way we kind of like move our way back up. Luckily, Shona is a whiz with finances. But because now all of a sudden we have this big expenditure and we have to pay for gas and food and everything else to get down to Jersey, that depletes our future plans for next week when we get paid, when we're going to be a little bit ahead of the game. So with all that, you know, taking place, obviously the better idea is to go out to the store, buy nice things to make for dinner, get her favorite cake, watch a movie with her, insist the kids, you know, stay in their fucking rooms for like an hour and let mom and dad relax. And then probably fuck. That's always the way to end, you know, an anniversary.
Oh, fucking sex just seems like such an exhausting task at the moment. I'm so tired. I'm just like, you do what?
Be like, if I can fall asleep, you can just like do whatever you want. I promise I won't say a word. Just let me close my fucking eyes.
Exactly. It's just been so exhausting. It's been amazing though. Spending time with the family has just been amazing. And you know, I've got this new promise I'm making to myself, right? So you know I'm supposed to stay up till like late on the Saturday, so I'm ready for my night shift on the Sunday. I'm going to have every week now a alone time, movie time sort of thing. I'm going to find a movie, I'm going to put it on and just sit and just fucking enjoy it. And I did that last week, and I watched The Internship and The Founder. I watched those two movies till about 3:30 in the morning, and then I was ready for my night shift. And they were two great movies. I really, genuinely just loved that. And I love that I'd given myself license to do that because I don't at the moment. And I'm back to normal now. I've got no other events or anything planned. So it's like pod aid. Fill up the schedule, which we're supposed to have done at the end of July, but there's been a few changes. So we will be working hard on that this week. Yeah,
I saw that, but I think we can do it. We haven't even like reached into the well yet. We've just been trying for new stuff because in our continuous, you know, attempts to make sure you guys stay entertained and get to hear new voices, we always try to reach out to somebody new, but we haven't even bothered reaching into the well yet. So maybe that's something we'll look into.
I've got something that I think will fit actually in that spot
cool.
that we're talking about. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Back to Suicide Squad really quick. I saw the trailer finally. Have you seen any of the trailers? I know you were staying away.
Yeah, I saw the Suicide trailer the other day.
What'd you think?
No, I mean the last Suicide Squad was I struggled with it an awful lot. And then there was the Harley Quinn movie, and that was even worse. And I was kind of like, oh, we're going downhill.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I did not like either one of those films very much at all. But remember who's doing this movie? A guy that understands teen movies. And that's the promising bit.
Yeah, but it's a standalone film that's going to go nowhere. The way I see the Warner Brothers going at the moment, like with they've killed the Snyderverse, obviously. I mean, we might get more of it. I don't know, but
well, I mean, but even so, like they're going to continue like this line of characters. They wouldn't have done it if they weren't interested in trying to continue this saga of it all. So, with that being said, I think that if this does well, they'll be like, oh, this is what we have to do to get our fucking job done.
There was something I found out actually this week, which is exciting. You know the guy, the main character from Kobra Kai. What's his name? I'm trying to find his name. I think his name's Sholo. Something or other. And he was, oh fuck's sake, they're making the Blue Beetle movie.
Really?
Making a Blue Beetle movie, yeah. Which is very encouraging, isn't it? Because then you're like, oh, actually, no, they're making more films, which is fantastic. What is worrying me the most is that, you know how we're doing this now with the multiverse with the MCU. They have been planning to make this Flashpoint movie now for years for DC.
Yes.
And we're going to get a lot of comparisons to the MCU and all this sort of stuff. But like Flashpoint has been coming for years. I think COVID actually really fucked things up for them. But they're throwing in obviously Michael Keaton. They've already started filming it, I believe. Michael Keaton as Batman, as Bruce Wayne and stuff. And I'm scared that all the fanboys are going to jump in it and just fucking ruin it. So we'll see. We'll see.
It depends how it's done. You know just as well as I do that, you know, the content is tried and tested. Batman, The Flash, you know, this story in particular, they're all very beloved things. And I think if you handle it right, it doesn't really matter everything else. And that's been the biggest complaint of the DC movies, is that they're not handled right. They don't have like a direction in which they're going. They're all very, you know, hit and miss depending on what they are. So I actually have high hopes.
Weird, because that Snyder Cut was fucking phenomenal.
I didn't watch it. Once again, I still have issues with the Justice League they put out, and it's mainly just because I like continuity. You know me, dude. I'm a continuity whore, and they went outside, not even just the continuity, but the storyline as it goes, to tell, you know, to be able to tell the story that they told, which was fine. And I hear that, you know, it's great, but in the meantime, I'm gonna watch fucking Suicide Squad with the wife, and I think she'll dig it. So that's the other, like, you know, key component to it. Can you dig it?
Yeah. Well, I hope it's good. Let me know how you get on with it, because I will not be going to the cinema because we are fucking broke after the last 2 days. Legoland and then Warwick Castle. Are you kidding me?
Legoland was the internet. HBO Max has it. It's fucking. So I was thinking about something that is kind of cool, and I want to get your idea, your brain picked about this. Once again, very sorry that my sentences are now becoming very hard to understand because I'm tired. So I'm driving through Jersey, right?
Yeah, baby.
Do you know what they're doing in New Jersey right this second?
Filming the prequel to The Sopranos.
Are they? No, I thought they were done doing that.
Saints of...
Yeah. I think they're done filming that. I think that has a release date and everything that's coming out soon. I saw a trailer for that. It looks fucking phenomenal. No, they're filming Clerks 3 right now. In North Jersey. And I'll be driving right through that motherfucker. Do you think I should drive through there?
I mean, why the fuck not? I mean, unless it takes you like a billion miles out of your schedule and what have you, then maybe not. But I mean, if it's just a quick, like, couple of hours, see what's going on, then off you go.
Not really, because like the way that it works is it's, you know, obviously North Jersey, I'm going to South, like West Jersey, it's like Northeast, but we are going to this park. I know I mentioned it before, especially on the Peter Alessandri episode, that my youngest loves the Statue of Liberty. And there's a park right across from the Hudson Bay or Ellis Island or whatever, and you can see the Statue of Liberty perfectly. So we're already like veering off the path to do that, because now that Shona can leave really early in the morning, before it was going to be we left mid-afternoon, got there stupid late. Now we get to leave super early, and so we have like, you know, time to do certain things we want to do. And we're going to do that. So I think with us doing that, it wouldn't be too much to ask to be like, hey, let's just drive through Leonardo and Highlands and see if like we can see Kevin.
Holy shit. Have you seen how much Michael Gandolfini looks like his dad? Holy shit. I've got to share the screen quickly for the listeners in case you've never seen this. Fucking Jesus. If anybody looked more like their dad, look at that.
Have you seen the trailer?
I did see the trailer.
Okay, cool.
Shave his hair off. And then you can just get him gabagool. I need the fucking gabagool.
He does look like his old man. That is pretty fucking
I'm excited for that. I really can't wait. But yeah, so what have you got any recommendations for films tonight? Because I want like a drama, not like an action film, just something to sit, and
You
relaxed.
see, you want a recommendation for a drama film? I think you should watch Sean's fucking miniseries. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, studio. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, at least then one of us can watch it right off the bat.
Studio City. There we go.
See, the thing is, like, all the things I watch, you watch. Like, usually you're a lot hipper to stuff than I am, which is, saying something because you're so busy and I'm not doing anything. But I'm a big rewatcher, as you are as well. Are you caught up on Rick and Morty?
Not quite.
Neither am I. Isn't that weird? We both like at first we were together the whole time. Now all of a sudden we both have not seen one. I wonder why that is. Do you think it's lesser quality show, or do you think it's just we're so busy?
I genuinely have just been too busy. I've been able to watch plenty. I haven't been able to play any PlayStation, watch any TV, watch any movies. But I mean, last weekend was probably the only thing I got to sit and just relax. Although we're going to watch Fear Street Part 3 tonight.
Yes,
we're going to finish that off finally. And then I believe we've got like stuff to look forward to. We've got like Stranger Things about to come out, and
is it?
Yeah, soon I believe.
It's got a release date.
Stranger Things season 4. Let's have a look.
Yeah, take a look at that really quick. I think we're pretty much all booked up through the rest of September, unless we're missing some dates. In which case, I had a couple ideas I'll talk to you about afterwards. So we got. Ooh, what's up? Is it on hiatus still?
2022.
So not anytime soon. But we do have Ghostbusters coming up.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yes,
that's a weird one. They're like, "Oh, we'll do it in November." I was thinking, "What?
Yeah.
You're not going to do Halloween? What?"
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. Maybe they're trying to be like, "Yo, it's so fucking good, we don't even have to make it a Halloween movie."
Yeah,
that's like a bold statement.
It's going to fucking clean up. I swear to God, that movie is going to print money. I swear to God, it looks amazing.
If it doesn't print money, I'd be very disappointed in everybody that's ever lived ever, just because it looks fucking amazing.
I think the problem with things like Stranger Things, though, you leave it too long. And I know we're in a COVID era now where we talked about this with the beginning of COVID. It's going to just have this year-long effect on delays and stuff like this. You get to a point where something new will come and people will be like, I don't give a shit anymore. I don't care. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, though, is like with the show like Stranger Things, they can do this, fortunately, because if the kids age, they just, they left it at a point where they're like,
2 years later.
Exactly. They can just, say it's whenever the fuck they want to. Except eventually they're going to get to the 90s, right? Like pretty soon they're going to be like, you know what? Fuck this 80s shit. I want to get myself some like ripped up pants and some
poppers.
I'm going to go
trousers. Remember them?
No, I thought you were talking about poppers like up your nose, like
Adidas poppers, man. That had like the pops all the way up the leg, and you could just pull them up.
That sounds like something a stripper would wear. Are you admitting the fact that you're a stripper?
No, Adidas poppers.
I believe you, but that sounds ridiculous.
They're wow, they're so expensive now to buy. Share screen. Bam. And bam, and bam, and bam. There we go. There's Adidas poppers.
Oh, like Adidas pants. Okay. That's what those are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was definitely a 90s staple. You're right. That and like Jinko jeans. Those are goofy as fuck.
Yeah.
All right. On that fucking note, we should probably tell everyone what we're up to and fucking go.
We are doing a thing in September, which is it's a lot of hard work to organise. It really is. It's sort of draining us all, but we're gonna be doing it. And I think I don't know what's harder. I think planning it is really difficult, but doing the actual thing is going to be just as difficult. I think because we're doing a 24-hour live podcast, which is called Pod Aid. We're going to be doing it at 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. on the 29th of September, right through till 9 a.m. on the 30th of September. The 30th of September is International Podcast Day. So we finish as International Podcast Day begins. And we're doing this to raise money for our friends at Lincoln Davis. They are a Shrewsbury-based, but they affect people all across the country and in Wales. Charity fund. They are a great local company. charity, and we're just looking forward to raising as much money as possible. We have our main sponsors in Reach, who are running our marketing, they are running our logos, they're running our social media. They're doing an amazing job. I keep showing this picture with my kid Alfie, but here is our venue. It's thanks to Shrewsbury Town, the community. We're using their Reach Community Hub. We're going to be, that back wall there is going to be covered with Pod Aid graphics, and we're going to have big long tables, and we're going to have all sorts going on there. We're going to have big cameras thanks to the guys at Stage and Studio Shropshire. Strange and Studio Shropshire. Yep, Trev, thank you very much for the cameras. Great cameras with a camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2 setup.
So your penis is going to look amazing on this. Is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, amazing. I'm going to look so good. How cool do I look? 24 hours. We've got 24-hour long slots. People we're going to be bringing to the show. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We're looking for sponsors as well. We've got a few in already. So if you do want to sponsor this event, you might actually need to get in quickly, because what we're doing is for every hour we're charging a $140 US or £100 UK. Well, let's put that
100 European money. If we remember anything from last week, 100.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that because of the euro.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Don't send euros. I don't know what that is.
Sterling minimum. Well, so if you want to give me £200, you can do. Just get in touch with us via our website.
Oh, our website, it is USUKnetwork.com. That is our website, everybody. It is a fantastic website. If you have ever perused around our website, it's free-flowing. It's built really well. And you would think, wow, these guys must be geniuses because they built this amazing website with, such shows as What's the Difference? Podcast with Alex and Tom. Where we interview amazing people like our good friend Sean, before this, and we just kind of get a feel for the world around us. There is Yelling at Clouds with Eric Pfluger and Alex Whiteley, and they have these amazing in-depth conversations. The last one is, from what I read, was Eric is mad at the sci-fi timeline, and he is going to tell Alex why. We have that. We have Wednesday Night Live with me, Alex Whiteley. We have a David Raby that shows up. And we have lots of friends and fun in these episodes. We come to you every single week, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or 9 o'clock UK time. And that is every single Wednesday. And all of this is brought to you by our good friends at Web Orchard, weborchard.com. They build websites for people. That's what they do. Our good friend Pete White over there, he built this amazing website, USUKnetwork.com, and he will build you a fantastic website as well. If you have an OnlyFans, if you are selling pictures like cats or your art, or you're trying to have a bigger online presence, you need yourself a website because social media does a good job, but it never does enough. And nothing says, hey, I'm ready to be in this, big race of the game called business. You need a website that tells them that you're serious. So reach out to our good friends at weborchard.com, and they are going to build you a fantastic website, and tell them that we sent you there.
Yes, thank you, Tom. That was absolutely brilliant. Well done. You may see as well. I've just go on. Sorry,
I'm a robot. I'm a robot. And by the way, normally we ask you guys if you know anyone to kind of send us your way because we really do want to get these hours sponsored for Potted. But I'm going to ask you this week, seriously. If you have anyone that you know that's kind of got to start a business and they'd like to hear their name shouted out on this podcast with, a couple people.
Especially if they got Etsy.
So much, dude. Really anything helps towards Pod Aid right now. And we're trying to get this thing going. We really want this to be successful. So if you know anyone that has a business, send them our way. We'd love to talk to them and try to see what we can do for them.
Amazing. Well done, Tom. Great job. And also, you may have seen I just changed the logo, which is right here in the top left. We are changing our logo, which is a pain in the ass because this logo here, I spent probably a whole evening, about 5 or 6 hours redesigning that. But we wanted to rebrand, rejig things a little bit because we thought we are a very inclusive podcast. We like to welcome everybody, and that's the whole idea of this thing is to keep people company. If you want to join our crew, listen to the show, chime in with the Wednesday Night Lives, and we're looking for new shows to join us as well. So if you fancy yourself as a bit of a podcaster, get in touch. And so we're telling people that they suck. with "You Suck" right there. It's not a way of including people. So our new logo there, USUK, and the website there on the side, is our new way of saying it's all about US and UK connection, and it's quite sexy looking as well. So that's what that is all about.
I like it. It's got like a Time magazine feel to it. Like we're important. I like it.
We're better than Time, though. We're better than Time magazine. Fuck them guys.
Wow.
Until they put us on the cover, you know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Podcasters, amazing podcasters. Raped a donkey, podcasters.
Right, let's get the hell out of here because we've all got things to do, and Tom has got some vagina to be dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
This has been What's the Difference podcast. I've been Alex Whiteley.
And I'm Tom Bruno.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Peace out, guys. Take it easy.
Hi, this is Ickis from RL Monsters. And I would like very much to ask you, if you don't mind, to watch the USUK Network with Tom, Bruno, and Alex Whiteley. Oh, that's all. I have to go flush myself now.